Guys, it's Daryl. It's Saturday afternoon. It's about 4 p.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Earlier, I made a video talking about how Trump seemed ill-equipped to handle the current events here in the United States. Not only the coronavirus, but this the riots spreading across the country, and it's just getting worse. You would think that if you wanted to. If you wanted to talk to these, if you wanted to stop these protesters, if you wanted to calm down the situation, you might want to find representatives of the black community, especially, and sit down and organize some conversation as a start. I think, I mean, I'm no politician, I'm no genius, I'm no stable genius, but okay, so this is, instead of doing something, like talking to people, talking about their issues, because I think the reason that people are protesting and the riots and the looting is because they feel they weren't being heard, and this situation keeps continuing and getting worse. And again, I go back to Colin Kaepernick, and this is what you get. And I think just sitting down with leaders in the black community, the president, right now, as these protests are spreading across the entire United States, if it were me, I would ask to sit down. If you could sit down with some leaders in the black community and talk about this. But instead of doing that, let's talk about what he is doing. So protesters in Washington D.C., Pennsylvania Avenue, last night. I believe most of them have been dispersed now. I don't know right now, Saturday afternoon, what's going on in Washington D.C. But Trump commented that last night that the Capitol Police used ominous weapons, awesome ominous weapons against the protesters. His words, ominous weapons. And he was ready to let loose vicious dogs on the protesters. His exact words, quote, vicious dogs, ominous weapons on the protesters in Washington, D.C. Now, he's criticizing the mayor of Minneapolis, that he's telling the mayor of Minneapolis they should crack down harder on these protesters. And he's commenting that he thinks these protesters it's not about George Floyd now. These are Antifa and the radical crazy left, and they've taken over this protest. That's his opinion, that this is no longer about George Floyd. These are radical Antifa protesters. They're not even Minneapolis residents, according to him. And he says by cracking down harder, if the Minneapolis mayor cracked down harder on these protesters, it would more honor the memory of George Floyd. Now, there's a man that can you even believe he said that? By cracking down harder on the protesters, it's going to honor. By having the police attack, get physical, by whatever means, what he threatened yesterday, I can't say the words. I'm not sure what he means by that, but by doing that, his opinion is that it will honor the memory of the man that was killed by police. The man is clueless. Okay, now this is a little troubling. Apparently, there's Army Predator drones that were directed from patrolling our northern border of Canada. I wasn't aware that there was drones patrolling the northern border with Canada, but apparently there is, or I don't know if they're on the ground or usually always patrolling or what, but they were directed and they were flying over Minneapolis last night. Now, officials claim this was just to help situational awareness with the police and that they were unarmed. If they were unarmed or not, I don't know. An attorney Barr has jumped in with Trump and is suggesting or offering the army, not the guard, the actual army, to send the actual army in to Minneapolis. to use the military against civilians here in the United States. Vicious dogs, ominous weapons, predator drones, and the army, military. That's Trump's response to people being angry about police brutality against African Americans. He suggests more police violence, more violence against the people that are protesting the violence. Yeah. I don't mean to laugh, but it's so ridiculous. All right, I'll keep you guys updated. You guys have a good Saturday.